Gang, what is going on? Hopefully I could be heard properly right now. My mic volume. Let me know. First ever live stream. Very excited to be here. Let me know how that mic quality is. Hey, what's going on? Listen. Here's the deal, okay? I just want to talk about movies today, man. I want to talk about anything that you guys are interested in, whether it's about me, whether it's about movies, whether it's about you guys. Fire them off. That's what we're here for. Hopefully more people will join as we go, but obviously we're just getting started. And obviously this is just the first live stream, so not too much pressure, I guess, right? We're just kind of taking this as it goes. So, yeah. How is everyone's day is the real question. Shout out to Cushy Boy, man. Look at that wonderful profile picture. Just absolutely glorious. Shout out to Gia. How are we doing today, man? How are we doing? Probably just going to wait a couple minutes, maybe just like 2-3 minutes, and then we'll kind of jump into talking about movies, maybe some movie news. So whatever's on coming off the dome. Yeah, man, but very excited to be here on this Sunday night. I don't know if this was the right time to do it. Who knows? But honestly, just trying to get into it. We got Gia in here, man. Shout out to Gia. Just going to wait a minute here. Just going to take a sec. But listen, let's probably wait till about, I'd say 7:04, 7:05. Yes, I can see the comments, as you can see on screen here. But yeah, man, hopefully I can just get some comments, throw them on screen, which is pretty good. So yeah, I guess that it went through YouTube. I mean, I haven't checked out my own YouTube page yet, but I'm assuming that's how you guys are seeing this. So, I mean, that's pretty cool to me, I guess. Let me see if I can watch my own stream, actually. Oh, yeah, it says live. Okay, nice. Well, listen, I'm just going to take another minute, give or take. Gia's kicking us off here, the question. Best movie to get into the Halloween spirit? I mean, let's just get right into it. I don't see why we're wasting any time. I'm going to have to say Halloween Town. Halloween Town's a classic. But obviously, on the scary end, the greatest scary movie of all time has got to be Scream. I mean, I got to give it to them. Scream for sure. But I mean, there's just so many classics. There are so many. The first Halloween. I even like the newer Halloween films. Honestly, they're pretty good. Freddy Krueger, anything involving any of the scary people. I'm a pretty big fan, man. But yeah. What time is it? 7:04. We're only a couple minutes in. Actually, we're only 2.5 minutes in because started about a minute and a half in. But yeah, I just want to hear what you guys have to say, quite honestly, because I don't have much to go over. So looks like it's saying my Wi-Fi is unstable. Hopefully not. But yeah, man. Got a little Diet Coke here with me. Absolutely glorious streaming drink. Look at this. 4 people in here. 4 glorious people. That is more than I could ask for. Gia asks, Are you caught up with Agatha? Yes, I am. I am not going to be reviewing Agatha on my channel, quite honestly, because I reviewed the first 2 episodes. Honestly, the video didn't perform that well, which I expected. Like, I don't really care about performance, obviously. I want to talk about my interests. But quite honestly, I don't think it's that interesting to talk about week to week like a WandaVision back in 2021. I just feel like it's not really worth it. So honestly, I'm caught up, but the third episode was really good. But yeah, I mean, as of right now, just probably not really gonna make too many videos on it. Might make some community notes, but yo, shout out to Walker in here. Yup. Look at this. Look at my boy Walker in here. Halloween movie faves, man. Halloween movie faves is stressful. Wow, we got 6 people in here. 6 people. I mean, that's amazing, man. For the first stream, just kind of getting warmed up here. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Halloween movie favorites. Listen, you've got your Scream, okay? Scream's the best scary movie of all time to me, easily. At least on the horror side. I'm not really a big horror fan. But then you got your other classics, at least like from my era. And I feel like an old head saying this, but you got your Halloween Towns. You got your, I'm trying to think what else. I've never really seen like Nightmare on Elm Street, but honestly, Halloween was a go-to to me. Not like the holiday, of course. I'm talking about Michael Myers, but listen, I just want to hear more questions. I want to hear more hot takes. I want to hear more thoughts. I want to keep bouncing around. But shout out to my man Walk there, one of my friends here. Shout out to him for that question, man. A lot of pressure, honestly. But look at this. We got 7 people in here now. I like the fact that I could throw up these questions on screen as well, like this. I mean, this StreamYard, shout out to StreamYard, pretty fancy. This is my first time using it, so yeah, if you guys got any hot takes, 8 people in here, guys. We have 8 people in here. But listen, I need a question to answer, man. I'm like a sitting duck. I'm like a sitting duck. I look like the StreamYard logo, like in the top right. What will you be watching on Halloween? Shout out to my boy for commenting this, my boy Murgonk. What will I be watching on Halloween? That's always a tough question, man. It's always a tough question because there's so many go-tos, but you've always got to watch. I'm laughing at the comments. You've always got to watch a scary movie on Halloween. Let's just keep it real here. I already watched the first Scream, but I'm going to be making a ranking on my channel of all the Scream films. So I can't watch the first Scream again because I already watched it because I'm trying to work through those. Honestly, though, probably Halloween 2018, the newer Michael Myers film. Really feeling that one. So probably something like that. Maybe even a Harry Potter kind of give me a vibe. Oh my God, we've got 11 people in here. Opinions. Shout out to my man, Matt. This is my roommate here. Opinions on the historical accuracy of the B movie. Listen, to be completely honest with you guys, you've got Jerry Seinfeld in there, right? He's doing a little lawyer action, in the B movie. Quite honestly, I would say that it's comically accurate, if I'm going to be real. I feel like it's as accurate as it gets. I don't know if it captures the time as well as it should have, like a timepiece. I feel like maybe if a Spielberg or a Nolan directed the B movie, it would have been a bit better. But honestly, can't complain about the B movie. And if I'm going to be honest with you, I have not seen it since I'm a kid. So yeah, not the biggest B movie person, more of a Disney animated person myself. But you look like Jerry. This is a comment. Honestly, I hear a lot from family members that with my hair and the mullet style, I look like Jerry Seinfeld, who quite honestly is on a pretty cold streak right now. My man Walk is back out with another question. Rainy Saturday, nothing to do. Maybe you got some cookies in the oven. Cozy couch. What movies are going on? Oh my God. I mean, you're just cooking. Oh, we're getting the look like Jerry in the comments now, man. Shout out to my boys here. Listen, you got cookies in the oven. You're ready to just have a spectacular day. That couch is cozy. What movie are you watching? Listen, I hate to say it. I hate to be that guy. But you got to throw on a Harry Potter. You gotta. Maybe as we're getting into the what's it called? The holiday season. Maybe not a scary movie because honestly, it's not really cozy. But you throw on a Home Alone 2, which is the better one, by the way, because obviously it takes place in New York. It doesn't get more cozy than that. I'm just going to be real. It doesn't. Gia. Shout out to Gia, man. Shout out to Gia. Most anticipated movie coming to theaters. God, there's actually too many comments, obviously, from people I know, but still, too many comments to keep up with here. Most anticipated movie coming to theaters. Quite honestly, the next one coming out, like the most recent one, or like I guess the one that's coming out the soonest, would have to be Saturday Night. Basically going over like the first opening night of Saturday Night Live, like the super popular comedy show back in, I believe, 1975. So that looks pretty cool. Oh my God, there's way too many comments to keep up with. But in the next year or so, easily Superman, without a doubt. July 11th, I will be there seated 10 days after my birthday. Walk says rainy is key. 100% makes it so much better. Look at this. A nice glass of milk and cookies too. Shout out to Matt. Great call. Thank you, bro. My man Mergonk. What is a film that you find technically or artistically brilliant, but emotionally or narratively disappointing? Why does it fall short for you despite its strengths? You know what's funny? He tried to nail me here with a complicated question, but I actually have an answer. Because a movie that I find technically and artistically brilliant, but emotionally or narratively disappointing, and keep in mind, I know he tried to nail me with this question. He thought I wouldn't have an answer. What the movie that falls short for me is going to be Oppenheimer. It's going to be Oppenheimer. I know that it's a great film, but it just doesn't really resonate with me. Maybe I need to give it a rewatch. Maybe I'm just not a big Nolan guy. Maybe I'm not a Cillian Murphy guy. I actually really like Emily Blunt. She's growing on me. She's one of my favorite actresses. But that's a technically beautiful film. I would agree 10 out of 10 times. But at the same time, it just falls short for me. And I love Robert Downey Jr. too. I mean, look at my background here. Up wrong side. He's literally sitting right there. It just doesn't look at this. The speed. Oh, I mean, I'm getting cooked. I know. That speedrunner guy, man. Shout out to you. Look at that beautiful profile picture. But I know that's a terrible answer. But keep in mind, I can acknowledge it's a great film if that makes sense. But to me, I'm just not. It's not really for me. I don't think I'm really a big biopic person, but I am excited for the Timothée Chalamet, Bob Dylan biopic coming up because I'm a big Chalamet person. Fell asleep during it. See, that's what I like to see. Not the answer I want, but what I needed. You just lost a loyal follower. Unbelievably. Unbelievable, not unbelievably. But listen, let's keep these questions rolling, man. Let's keep these hot takes rolling because I don't want this just to be about me. Well, I'm stuttering here, answering stuff. If you guys have a hot take, if you guys have some type of movie news you want to talk about, man, that's what I'm here for. Let's get a quick Diet Coke break before I pass out from talking so much. Gia asks, and let's just make this clear, any good shows? There's one answer. I almost said one question. There's one answer and one answer only to that. It's going to be The Batman. Not just The Batman, but The Penguin, the show that's on right now. That pilot episode was just honestly phenomenal. And I'm not really a show person. I mentioned that in a review I had the other day. But The Penguin just has me hooked. Absolutely hooked. That first episode is beautiful. And the next episode comes out in, what time is it right now, gang? It's 7:12. It comes out, I believe, 8 or 9 o'clock tonight. So I could not be more excited for that. Matt asks, what are your thoughts on Over the Hedge and why is it the best movie ever? Used to watch it a lot as a kid. Quite honestly, it is not the best movie I have ever seen in my life, but it's a super solid DreamWorks film. I remember it being very funny, but haven't seen it since I'm a kid. Honestly, being on live, I'm starting to realize how fast I talk. Wow. See, this is what I like to. This is a good one right here. This is a good one. I like this. I like seeing a good take like this. Wait, is Black Panther on here somewhere? On my background, I'm trying to look. I don't know if he's on the background. I'm like moving around over here, but listen, Black Panther should have been recast. Absolutely phenomenal take. Absolutely an interesting point to talk about. Let's put it that way. I'm just going to be real with you. I 110% agree. My man Chadwick unfortunately passed away. May he rest in peace. Love the guy to death. I think he's a phenomenal actor. But I actually would argue it's more disrespectful to not carry on his character's legacy and just kill off his character than to have someone else carry the mantle. Because now Black Panther, unfortunately, the character is gone, which leaves a big hole in the MCU. And obviously, things in real life are more important. You know, Chadwick, all that stuff, his family, way more important. But I would argue it's more disrespectful to kill off his characters in the movie and not have someone carry it on than to just not recast him, if you know what I'm saying. If you recasted him, someone else could carry the mantle, but it's not like they're replacing him. They're just carrying on what he already started. His greatness, they're carrying on. So honestly, I'm with you on that. And that could sound like a hot take. And don't get me wrong, when it comes to like business decisions and movie politics, I get why they wouldn't recast them because they're like, hey, this is a sensitive matter. You know, let's just move on. It's going to be too emotional. I understand. But just saying, and honestly, happy that some people agree with me. Hey, Tony, not sure who this is, quite honestly, but listen, what's good, man? What's good? Or woman, if this is like in a Tony, like Tony Collette. Shout out to my man right here. Have you seen any previous DC shows before The Penguin? My only answer, I believe, would be Peacemaker, which I absolutely loved. But any of like the Arrow shows, no. I'm trying to think of those other shows. The Flash, no. I didn't really grow up watching those. Like, I really like Grant Gustin. I thought he like looked good in the role of Flash from like, you know, the clips I've seen. But that's one of those shows that just seems like it just fell off the rails, honestly. So I'm just not really that interested. Same with Arrow. Not really interested in that universe. Best sports movie. One that comes to mind, it's not the best, but one of my favorites has got to be Draft Day. If any of you are NFL fans, American football fans, Draft Day is a great one. Kevin Costner, Jennifer Gardner. You've got Chadwick Boseman in there, actually, man. May he rest in peace. We were just talking about him. But yeah, man, that's a great one. I'm blanking on some great sports films, but honestly, I feel like for the most part, even though I'm a sports fan, I tend to stray away from sports films. I haven't seen Remember the Titans. I haven't seen Rudy. I haven't seen Coach Carter. Like a lot of the classic sports films, I unfortunately have not seen. I'm happy they're bringing back RDJ. Before I get to that, hold on. Canceled. I know, I'm unfortunate. I'm a dude and I love your videos. Man, thank you so much. Listen, if you got any questions, hot takes you want to talk about here in a second, just throw them in, man. Throw them in any movie news. But listen, let's circle back to this because I'm not off of this. Field of Dreams, good call. Just wanted to point that out quick. Again, though, because this is a great one with Ray Liotta and Kevin Costner. I really enjoy that one. And also, James Earl Jones, who just passed away, he's also in Field of Dreams. Circling back, though, to I'm happy they're bringing back RDJ. This is another controversial one. This is another tough one for me because, I mean, this is kind of crazy, right? They're bringing back Robert Downey Jr., his character Iron Man, the most iconic character in the MCU, undeniably. There's honestly no arguing with that. Just in the MCU, I'm not saying superhero, just in the MCU, Robert Downey Jr., he's been at the mantle from 2018 to 2019. That's 11 years. He's there for 11 years. At the end of the day, though, bringing him back, is that a smart idea? I slightly lean positive, but quite honestly, I'm just so over Marvel to an extent, and I love the MCU. Look at my background. It's my favorite franchise. But it just feels like they keep making these cheap decisions that just lack any sort of creativity. It feels like a business decision because what Marvel's saying is, hey, we're going to put Marvel. Why am I saying they're going to put Marvel in this movie? Of course there's going to be Marvel in this movie. We're going to put Robert Downey Jr. in this film, and it's going to make $1 billion because quite honestly, we know that we're struggling right now. Yes, Deadpool and Wolverine was a success, but at the same time, it's just kind of like more of a gimmicky thing. It's more of a jangling keys and being like, hey, audience, look at this cool thing that we're doing, even though the story might not end up being actually that good. Thank you so much, though, for that question, Gia. Cars is kind of a sports movie. I'd actually 100% agree. Great take right there. See, I'm thinking live action. Cars, I'm going to be honest, as a franchise, I actually don't think it's that great. Like, if you want to call it a franchise. No, a trilogy. I don't know why I'm saying franchise, but Cars 2, I really don't like. Cars 3, I've seen like one time, and I was like, this is fine, but that first movie's underrated. People try to tell you that Cars isn't good, I feel like. I'm a big Cars fan, man. I grew up, man. Life is a Highway. Come on. Doesn't get better than that. Rascal Flatts. Just great, man. Just great. Okay, hold on. You're given $1 billion. Gonk is just killing it with the questions right now. You're given $1 billion. What franchise or movie are you putting it towards? No question, absolutely no question, the DCU, the upcoming DC universe. Warner Bros. Right now, don't get me wrong, they got more money than me or more money than everybody watching will ever have combined the rest of their life. They are set for life, right? They've got millions and billions of dollars, but they are kind of financially struggling. Honestly, it's been like kind of something that, they've been dancing around, like selling off assets. Warner Bros. Is actually financially struggling, sort of. If I could just give them $1 billion just to kind of cover their next 3 or 4 or 5 movies, maybe a show here, a show there, I would easily give it to Warner Brothers so that they could comfortably finance the DCU because Superman, that's the movie that's coming out next year to set off this universe. The thing is, if it's not a financial success, I feel like a lot of people are going to be like, oh my God, the universe is done. But no, they just need to make it a good film so that hopefully for the rest of the year, not the rest of the year, the rest of this universe, people will still want to follow along. Hey, Ty, just got here. How are you doing? Any movie memories you could share of Chris Christopherson and John Ashton? I saw that John Ashton passed away. May he rest in peace. Hold on a second, though. I'm going to be honest with you. One thing that's good is that I prepared a second monitor. I don't know if any of you guys, I don't really watch these people, but Joe Rogan, he always has this guy like Jamie who he could just ask to look stuff up. That's what I tried to do for myself with my second monitor here, so I could just look things up here. Yes, John Ashton was in Beverly Hills Cop. I've only seen the first one, unfortunately. I know that the new one was in there, but Chris Christopherson. Hold on, I got to look this up here. American singer-songwriter. I am not familiar, unless maybe, he was in Blade. No, not familiar, honestly. I am not familiar, man. But listen, I'm doing good. I really appreciate the question. But listen, if you got any more other questions that hopefully I can answer, I'd love to answer them. But yeah, man, may they rest in peace. I saw that John Ashton just passed away, though, man. So yeah, thank you, though. Thank you for the question. Cop out answer other than the DCU. So circling back to what Gonk was saying, I'm saying circle back here. You're given $1 billion. What franchise or movie are you putting it towards? Quite honestly, $1 billion is too much for one film if we're being realistic. Besides the Avatar films, it's too much for one film. A franchise, though, what's maybe a new franchise that I would like to develop of maybe something that wasn't really given a chance? Honestly, my answer before Transformers 1 would have been Transformers. I feel like Transformers, Michael Bay did a fine job in my opinion. But obviously, the longer this franchise went on, the worse it got. But Transformers would have been my answer. But now, and by the way, shout out to the 12 people in here. Now that I feel like Transformers is on a good track, I don't know who's getting $1 billion. I don't know who's getting $1 billion. Maybe if you guys got a comment or something, I'd like to kind of spark my memory here. Who could get $1 billion? Because I'm thinking superheroes, no. Nobody really needs $1 billion. I don't really like anything like anime related, like something like that. But I'm just trying to think, man. I'm just trying to think who I would give $1 billion to. I don't know. Great question. I'm going to have to kind of go back on that one because maybe if I look at my letterbox here, because again, I'm just so tech savvy and I have my second monitor here. Let me take a look. I mean, Dune is enough money. You know, I just don't know, man. I just don't know. I really don't know. Wow. This is a great comment right here. What would Fast 11 look like with $1 billion? For those of you that don't know, he's referring to Fast and Furious 11. Fast and Furious as a franchise has gotten more and more ridiculous as time has gone on. It's just a fact. I'm using my second monitor as light, by the way, in case you guys can't tell. With $1 billion, oh my God, we would see dinosaurs. We would see the Transformers crossing over. We would see space again, because they actually shown space in the Fast and Furious franchise. I absolutely adore that first Fast and Furious movie. I even love the second one. I love it. From there, though, I feel like they only got worse and worse. I'm not going to lie. I haven't even seen all of them, but I know that they just got crazier and crazier. But this is a funny comment, man. If they had $1 billion, woo, Vin Diesel would be going crazy. Maybe The Rock would actually come back. See, this is a great comment right here. This is a great answer. For me, it would be G.I. Joe. Franchise that had a lot of potential, but each movie has flopped. Couldn't agree with you more. This is a franchise that, honestly, I do think deserves $1 billion. Like maybe it doesn't have the great premise. I'm not super familiar with G.I. Joe, but it's just one of these franchises where if a studio was willing to finance a large movie, maybe get some big names in there, not just because big names equal quality, but at least you're kind of putting it out there and you're getting people interested. That's the type of franchise that I feel like deserves a shot at kind of, getting revived again. And it is getting revived because they're doing the Transformers and G.I. Joe combination film. I don't know why I keep bringing up Transformers. Honestly, just fresh on my mind. Walker sending in a couple good questions here. What's your next movie watch? Couple of next movies and watch this. I could pull up my letterboxed watch list. Oh my God. I mean, I'm just on fire right now because I got the second monitor. Okay. Scream 2. Because like I said earlier, well, not as many people were here. I'm actually going to be doing a Scream ranking. So I'm going to be ranking all the Scream films. I've only seen the first one and then the fifth and the sixth one. Don't even ask me how, but I'm going to be watching Scream 2 because I just rewatched Scream 1, fresh in my mind because, whenever I do a ranking, I want to make sure that these are like fresh thoughts. I don't want to be ranking movies that I saw from years ago. But my next movie on my watch list is definitely Scream 2. Another one that I'm absolutely dying to check out, but I just need to find the time for is going to be Babylon by Damien Chazelle. This is a movie that unfortunately flopped at the it flopped at the box office. I don't know why I was blanking out there, but I feel like it's a film that I definitely need to check out. It has Margot Robbie. It has I want to say Brad Pitt in like a small role, Tobey Maguire in a small role. Seems highly stylized, but again, just 3 hours. But I absolutely love Damien Chazelle, so I don't know how I haven't seen this yet, quite honestly. Shout out to all 10 people in here, by the way. Really appreciate it, guys. And also one that I kind of want to check out, or at least just rewatch, Fantastic Beasts, because I have not seen that portion of like the Harry Potter franchise or whatever. Walker says Tokyo Drift was the best Fast and Furious movie, in my opinion. Listen, it's an iconic film because of that song that it has. You know what I mean? Like the Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift song that I really like. A lot of like DJs always like remix it. But I'm going to be honest with you. That movie is like a 3 out of 10 for me, personally. I've only seen it once, and I might have been like in a bad mood or something, but maybe that's just me. And again, highest on the watch list is probably Scream 2 or Megalopolis, which actually I would like to check out in theaters. But hold on a sec here. Talking a lot. Oh, my God. I'm about to pass out. What time is it here? 7:25. Yeah, I'm gonna be going till about 8 o'clock. So I feel like having a nice like dense hour is better than having like 4 hours, because quite honestly, then no one will ever like rewatch it realistically. All right. See, this is another thing. Hopefully you haven't gotten spoiled on who the killers are in each one. Because, oh my god, I can't read. I literally can't read. I'm like what's his face? 50 Cent right now. Hopefully you haven't gotten spoiled on who the killers are in each one that you haven't seen. He's referring to the Scream movies, of course, that I haven't seen. I haven't, but honestly, even if I did get them spoiled, I feel like it wouldn't really affect my viewing, quite honestly. I love Babylon. It's probably Damien Chazelle's most underrated film. The thing about Chazelle is that he only realistically has like 4 or 5 films. 2 of them I absolutely adore: La La Land and why am I blanking? Whiplash, which I just rewatched in theaters with my boy Walk, by the way. Shout out to him. We literally just watched it in theaters together. Phenomenal viewing experience, gotta say, especially in theaters. But it's just one of these things where I actually just lost my train of thought. What were we talking about again? Oh yeah, Damien Chazelle. He needs more films. Not that I don't want to rush him, artists, take your time. But I want his filmography to build up, because I'm just so excited to always see what's next for him. And apparently he has like some prison movie coming out or something like that. I don't know when it's going to release, maybe like 2026, probably not next year, but I'm just very excited. I'm over the moon about Damien Chazelle. I think he's one of the better younger filmmakers. But let's use my second monitor and look up his age, actually. Okay, yeah, he's 39, super young. Listen, Scorsese's in his 80s and he's still making films, so I'm sure that Chazelle still has a lot of time. Okay, man, I feel like I'm taking too long. As someone who wants to try and get into horror movies during October, what horrors would you recommend? Listen, that speedrunner guy, or I could just call you Mario to just keep it short here. Mario, let's just be real here. Quite honestly, I am not a horror guy. I don't know if you ever looked at my channel, but I really don't review horror films, and I'll watch anything at any time, don't get me wrong. But if I had to recommend horror movies, the number one, in my opinion, is going to be Halloween 2018. The only reason I say that movie is because I feel like it's such a great intro film. I'm more of a slasher person myself rather than like paranormal, honestly. If I'm being realistic, I'm not like a big Conjuring fan. I actually watched The Conjuring, though, for the first time last year. I enjoyed it. Just not really my thing, though. I'd say Halloween 2018. But then once you've actually seen a horror film, once you've recognized the tropes and the cliches, if you watch 2 or 3 or 4, don't walk alone by yourself. Don't, trip and fall. Don't do this, right? Then you go and watch Scream. Because Scream makes fun of all the horror movies that you've ever watched in such an unbelievably phenomenal manner. The meta, commentary on this, it's beautiful. So Scream would be my recommendation, but after you've watched 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 of the more classic horror films. That's my answer, man. Whoa, I'm getting like behind on comments here. Tokyo Drift is the worst one in the franchise for me, but I still enjoyed it. See, I haven't seen like what's it called? Fast and Furious, like 5 to maybe like 9 or 10. Like I haven't seen the most recent one, honestly, but I just know they got more and more ridiculous. But I love the first and second one. I actually have the first one on a 4K disc. I'm like a physical media collector myself, I don't mean to be on my high horse. I'm just saying, though. But yeah, like I like collecting discs. So I have that first one. I really love it, the first and second. But after that, kind of just falls off for me. And look at this. The duality of man. There are many people. I can't read, guys. I think I need like a 3rd grade education class here. There are many people who hate Tokyo Drift and a lot who love it. I feel like those are like those cult classic type of films where half the people love it, half the people don't. I'm getting a little bit behind here. Let's step on it here. I'm like 3 minutes behind. The Eternals is the worst MCU movie I have ever seen. I'm going to be honest with you. I can't blame you for saying that. It's bottom 3 for me, maybe bottom 2. I've seen it once about 2 years ago. Have not seen it since. I've had no interest. And that was like right around when I was actually getting into the MCU, which is pretty funny to say, but I just have no interest in rewatching The Eternals. It was so bad to me and so boring. And I hate saying when like movies are boring. I feel like that's not like a genuine criticism. It just didn't work for me. I'm trying to figure out what Gio is saying here. I'm trying. Oh, okay. Eternal. Yep. Okay. Never mind. Just agreeing. Yep. Scream and Megan are perfect gateway horror films to me. I agree partially, and I'm not like disagreeing with you, but I think Scream is better once you've seen a couple of horror films because of the fact that Scream makes fun of other horror movies. So in a way, I feel like it's better once you've seen a couple. But I agree with what you're saying. Don't get me wrong. One of the best ever. It's my favorite of all time, personally. But again, haven't really seen that many classic horror films. Let's see what Matt said here. What actor would you add to a specific movie to make it better, and why is it Chris Pine to Over the Hedge? That's a very specific, great question. But listen, if I'm just talking about just actor adding to a specific movie, that's a tough one. That's honestly a tough one. Honestly, and I don't mean to get like all sad and deep here, but my answer would honestly just be Robin Williams to just one more movie. Rest in peace, man. I don't mean to get all sappy, but honestly, I love Robin Williams, man, and I'm so sad that he's gone. But my answer would be just Robin Williams to just one more film. Doesn't matter what movie it is. But Chris Pine to Over the Hedge, I can't say I disagree with you. See, I think Scary Movie is a parody of all horror movies. 100%. Scary Movie is great. It's so funny. Scream, I feel like, is the perfect middle ground to where it's a meta, but it's still a normal horror movie. It has your twists and turns. It has kills. It's trying to be a normal film, but it's still kind of wild. Scary Movie, though, obviously is like full-on comedy. I can't believe we're talking about horror so much, but I'm not really a horror fan, so this is actually kind of funny to me. If The Thing could be counted as horror, I think it's the best horror movie ever. Well, I'm kind of just paraphrasing your comment here. I think The Thing is 100% horror. Horror/sci-fi, John Carpenter classic. I have not seen The Thing. I'm going to be honest with you. I know that sounds kind of crazy. I haven't seen The Thing. I have to watch it. I have to get around to watching it. But I think that's like pretty much considered one of the best films ever, realistically. Like I'm talking just straight up of all time. So I think that's a great take, honestly. I think they overused the meta comments in the new Scream movies. Interesting. I can't say I disagree with you, but I feel like it's one of these things where, and again, I've only seen 5 and 6, so if you're saying new, I'm assuming you mean the Jenna Ortega, Melissa Barrera kind of sequence that's going on here. I feel like I kind of understand what you're saying, to where sometimes they try to be like, and I know that this sounds almost like sacrilegious, but like too creative, and they're like, oh, we're going to get them this time, and it just doesn't really work out. But again, I've only seen the 5th one once. I've only seen the 6th one once, but I'm going to be rewatching them, but kind of see what you're saying. My roommate here. So are you trying to watch Gladiator in the next 28 hours? Now, listen, I've never seen Gladiator, but what this is referencing to is the fact that Amazon Prime currently has Gladiator on their streaming service. Great promotional move for them. I think it makes sense as a studio to want to have your movies, or at least, the predecessor to a movie that you have coming out, aka Gladiator 2, on a streaming service. For some reason, in 28 hours, Gladiator is being removed from Amazon Prime. But why would you remove the predecessor to a movie that's coming out like a month and a half before it's actually coming out? That doesn't make sense to me. Basically, what I'm saying is if Gladiator 2, your sequel, is coming out in late November, why are you removing the original from a streaming service right now? Doesn't make a lot of sense. I get it's all business, but listen, Slice, dude. I love your logo, by the way. Incredible Hulk is overhated. Wait, The Incredible Hulk is overrated, but also the worst MCU film, in my opinion. That's actually kind of funny. That almost sounds like an oxymoron. I'll agree with you on half of this. I agree with you that it's wait. That it's one of the worst MCU films. Is it overhated? I'd almost say it's overrated. And the reason that I say overrated is because I think there's a lot of people that actually go out of their way to try to defend this movie, but I think it's just bad. Like, when people try to defend bad stuff, and at a certain point, you just got to be like, bro, listen. Just let it rest. Just let it die. That's what the support for this kind of reminds. The support for this movie, that's what it kind of reminds me of. Don't get me wrong, though. I like that you enjoy it. Like, I'm super happy you enjoy it and that you think it's overhated. I also think it's kind of funny that you said it's the worst MCU movie. So, yeah, I don't really blame you. Oh, wait, I skipped a rom-com question. No, I did not. I am getting called out for something that is not true. This is unbelievable. Scream is also my favorite horror movie of all time. Shout out to you, man. My man Walker says, sorry, Eternals was different than the typical action comedy script that Marvel uses. Be open to change. Listen, Marvel said, hey, we're going to bring in Chloe Zhao, a great independent director. And it just didn't work out, honestly. They tried to take a risk. That's what Phase 4 was all about. It just didn't pan out. It just wasn't a good film. Shout out to him, though. This is a pretty funny comment. The MCU formula, as some people call it, I still haven't seen The Thing, which needs to change soon. I know it's Cody Leach's favorite. Yes, shout out to Cody Leach. Absolutely love his channel. I also know that's his favorite. Such a niche piece of knowledge there. But yeah, Cody Leach, man. I'm not a horror fan. He's another YouTuber, for those of you that don't know, a movie YouTuber. He's more horror-oriented. But yeah. And look at this. Another person that's on my side here, at least. Well, I don't know why I'm saying another person. This is the same person. I haven't seen the original Gladiator either, but Gladiator 2 is one of my most anticipated of the rest of the year, so I need to watch the original soon. I'm with you. You got Paul Mescal in there. You've got Pedro Pascal, another P name. You've got Joseph Quinn from Stranger Things and also the Fantastic Four that's coming up. You've got Denzel Washington, literally one of the greatest actors to ever grace the screen. But listen, at the end of the day, I'm not really dying to see Gladiator 2 personally, and I'm not going to lie. During that time, there's another film that's coming out, and it sounds kind of stupid, but I'm honestly more excited for another sequel, we'll just say. That other sequel being Moana 2. I'm going to be honest. I'm just more excited. At the edge of the water. I'm sorry. I love Moana 2. I love it. You can't blame me for that. God, I always feel the need to sing that song, man, whenever they play it. $1 billion later. Yeah, the Eternal didn't walk out. Man, I'm getting trolled here by my boy. The Eternals actually lost a lot of money for Disney, unfortunately. Sing. Mel's is telling me to sing. One of my boys is telling me to sing. Listen, I can't be singing unless you guys got a recommendation. You know what I mean? Quick review of Agatha episode 3. I'm getting called to sing up here. I'm going to be honest. I'm actually happy that you asked this. Just to kind of lay the groundwork here. I am not a fan of the Agatha show. I was not a fan of it going into it, I should say. Let me rephrase. I was not a fan going into it. I was like, why are they making this? The only reason I'm watching it is because I have a YouTube channel. If I didn't, and I'm a diehard MCU fan, like I said, honestly, I'd be skipping out. Episode 1 and 2 was not really a fan of, but I'm not going to lie. Episode 3 was kind of good. I think that it felt like an actual TV episode to where it had a story that started and ended. And also it carried on the overarching story. Like the first 2 episodes, it felt more like they were too worried about the overarching story rather than being good individual episodes. But this felt more like a cutaway episode. And I was like, it's kind of interesting. This is like an escape room, like a little Ocean's 11, like heist that we're trying to do here, where it's like we're trying to figure out how to get this potion going on. It was kind of cool, honestly. I actually kind of enjoyed it. And also, there was some stakes established because I don't want to spoil it, but someone actually died. So I kind of like that they're trying to be a little riskier with this, you know. But no, I don't want to hit it. I don't want to hit it. But man, I just can't wait to be king. Also, rest in peace, James Earl Jones. Man, honestly, I don't mean to be morbid, but we've talked about like 5 or 6 passed away actors on here so far. This is kind of creeping me out. And also, it's creeping me out that we're talking about horror stuff. So it's like it's spooky season in full effect. You know, rest in peace to all them. Yeah, man, Moana 2 is going to be great. I'm slightly worried, though, that, yes, Lin-Manuel Miranda is not returning for the music. I'm honestly not really a horror fan. Or no, not a horror fan. Oh, my God. I've been saying that same phrase like 10 times. I am not a Hamilton fan. I've just never really seen it. But at the same time, I feel like they'll be okay. I feel like he laid the groundwork in the first film, and they kind of know, hey, this is what people liked, like the creatives at Disney. So now they could kind of just build on top of that for the second movie. So I'm a little bit suspicious. Another thing that makes me really suspicious, or I should say standoffish to this movie, is that originally they weren't going to make Moana 2. It was going to be a Disney Plus TV series that they morphed into a movie. That turns me off, honestly, because it's like, does that mean that you really had a good creative idea here? Or did you just kind of transform a show's script into a movie script? I don't really like that. Okay, let's see what this says here. This is an absolute banger question. Which will you be seeing first on July 25th, Superman or Fantastic Four? There's only one problem here. Superman comes out July 11th and Fantastic Four comes out July 25th. But, whoa. Are you guys seeing this? There's something that just came on screen. I don't know if that was just me. But listen. All I got to say is one thing. On July 25th, I'm going to see Fantastic Four, no doubt about it. But quite honestly, I am way more excited for Superman. Way more excited. So maybe it's just me, but I don't know. Do you think Superman 2025... Oh, we're talking about Superman now. I'm getting excited. Do you think Superman 2025 will be the greatest comic book movie of all time? I'm going to say this with my chest. I'm going to put all my eggs in one basket. I think it has a chance to be a top 5 greatest superhero film ever. Undeniably. I really do. I think it does. For multiple reasons. Multiple reasons. The fact that you're starting off this universe with one of the greatest superheroes ever, You're kind of setting yourself up here for success. James Gunn, it feels like The Guardians has been a warm-up, even though obviously those films are amazing, for this. It feels like now it's time for him to really have his magnum opus, that is Superman. So I feel like it definitely can be. We're getting a sports betting question in here. Derrick Henry, anytime touchdown, or Zay Flowers? For those of you that are not American, I'm sorry, guys. But I would say Derrick Henry, definitely a safer bet. They're definitely be running the ball. But also Lamar Jackson runs the ball. New subscriber. Wait, is that Godzilla? I cannot see her. Oh, no, that's a bear or a wolf. What am I saying? I thought that picture was Godzilla. Hey, thank you, man. Really appreciate it. Wow, we're getting some funny questions from my friends here. Okay. I'm trying not to laugh at this. What movie best cheers you up? What movie best cheers you up after a massive sell job by the Jets that you must be used to as a Jets fan? You must go to a lot of movies a little sad. For those of you that don't know, I am a New York Jets fan, American football. The Jets lost today. They were much better than the team that they were playing, and they lost. And listen, I know that you guys are here for movies, so I won't talk about it for too long. This is a very funny comment. But yeah, they just choked, man. And honestly, it's killing me right now. I'm trying not to shed a tear. Here we go, baby. Here we go. Here's a banger. What would be your top 3 films of the year so far? I'm going to be honest. I try to keep relatively quiet, like on the channel. Not that anybody really cares about like what my top 10 films of the year are. But if you go on my letterbox, you could actually see it. But let me just pull up my letterbox here on my other screen. I'll just tell you guys right now because this is a live. So I'll make it like a treat for the live. Not that anybody really cares about my opinion, but at the same time, my top 3 films of the year in order. Number 3, and these could all move around, but especially my 3 to 5 or 3 to 6 range. Number 3 is going to be Furiosa. I am not the biggest fan of Mad Max Fury Road. Furiosa blew me away. Absolutely blew me away. Anya Taylor-Joy was great. But as great as she was no match for Chris Hemsworth. And I'm not discrediting her. I'm just saying that Chris Hemsworth as Dementis, the best villain of the year. Pretty much undeniably to me. I don't know why I keep saying undeniably in the stream. I don't know if those of you guys, if you guys have picked it up. Oh my God, I'm stuttering over here. But yeah, Furiosa for sure. Coming in at number 2, Transformers 1. Call me crazy. Call me a madman. I could not believe how great that film was. Transformers was a franchise that I was honestly waiting to die. I'm going to be honest. Like, I was like, they need to just stop making Transformers films. This movie was so good. It hits the heights of Spider-Verse towards the end. It's good storytelling. It's funny. It has its kiddish moments. I don't love the designs, but regardless, I just loved it. I loved it. Simple as that. And coming in at number 1 is going to be Doom Part 2. I don't have much to say. I don't know if there's anything I could say that someone else hasn't said already about it. It's a masterpiece. In my opinion, it's the best film of the decade, like from 2020 and on. And I can differentiate favorite from best. Like, it's not my favorite, but I think it's the best. So yeah, let's get a little drink here though. Diet Coke, please sponsor me. I hope you review Megalopolis when you see it. Such an interesting movie with everything it tries to do, and most of it doesn't really work, but it's a gorgeous looking movie. This is a film, for those of you that don't know right now, that is getting both 0 out of 10 ratings and 10 out of 10 ratings. It's coming from Francis Ford Coppola, who did The Godfather, who did The Conversation. What movie did he not do? Some of the greatest films of all time. But obviously he's older now. The cast is stacked, but apparently it is just weird and awkward. This was one of my most anticipated films of the year. But honestly, just seeing the reviews, I was kind of put off. But now, seeing some of the other clips from the movie and some of the stuff people are saying, I'm almost put back on. I'm almost like back on the train, and now I actually want to see it. And yeah, he's saying that this could be James Gunn's best movie with Superman. I completely agree. I have a better chance if Slice Dude asks. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying there. Best DP cinematographer in the game. Listen, I think there's one answer right now that's working, and it's pretty easy. This guy's been killing it. It's Greg Fraser, without a doubt. Greg Fraser, and all I need to do is say this, and it's easy. He did Dune Part 1. He did The Batman. He did Dune Part 2. Even if you don't like The Batman, even if you don't like Dune, even if you don't like Dune Part 2, there is no denying that all of those films are beyond beautiful. Like, human eyes should be thankful that they could even look at them. Even if you don't like the movies on a story level, maybe the characters, they look gorgeous. Gorgeous. Don't get me wrong, though. The Batman, that is sort of also like Matt Reeves' touch. He likes that darker style. Same with Denny with Dune. He also likes to kind of have like that warmer tone. So it's not just the DP, but at the same time, Greg Fraser, for sure. Those of you that aren't familiar with his work, try to watch a couple of films. I think he also did Rogue One. Let me just see really quick. I think he also did Rogue One and The Creator. Greg Fraser, man. Greg Fraser also did. I think I'm folding right now, but at the same time, I can't find it right now. But listen, all I've got to say is it's definitely Greg Fraser, man. He has the most beautiful films. But really quick, I just want to see if he actually did the films that I was just doing. Sorry, gang. Yes. Okay, he did. I was correct. Let's move on, though. Let's move on. I'm wasting time. Highly recommend the movie Totally Killer that came out last year. Yes, it's basically Back to the Future meets Scream, and it's practically more comedy than horror. Yes, I heard about this one. It seemed pretty cool. I saw it's like this girl goes back in time to either stop the murder of her mother or something like that. Seemed pretty cool, though. I definitely need to check it out, especially now that it's spooky season. It's time to kind of watch again. My top 3 are currently Deadpool and Wolverine. Can't blame you, man. That was my most anticipated movie of the year. It's right there for me, but I just kind of, I'm moving them around. The Wild Robot, I just watched it. I thought it was okay. Don't get me wrong. I liked it. Just wasn't really 100% for me. I just didn't love it. I wasn't over the moon about it. And Abigail, one that I haven't seen. I got to check out Abigail maybe. Let's move on, though. Here we go again. We're getting trolled, but I'm going to answer it seriously. What are your thoughts on Transformers 1? Phenomenal, like I said. And why should they make a crossover, oh my God, with Over the Hedge? Listen, they're doing a crossover with G.I. Joe. Why not is the real question. Let me come watch Megalopolis with you. You are more than welcome, man. You are more than welcome. Okay. I don't know why I keep hearing that. I keep getting ignored at. There's no ignoring here, man. I'm looking at every comment. What is my favorite rom-com? One that I just want to shout out really quick that I watched recently that's just, it's so good, is Along Came Polly with Ben Stiller. Ben Stiller is just such a master at his craft, whether it's from a directing standpoint or an acting standpoint. I love the guy. I think he's just amazing. We've got 13 more minutes, by the way. I'm going to cut it off at about an hour. But yeah, man, I loved it. Didn't he do The Last of Us season 1 and season 2? I don't know if you were here earlier in the stream, but my problem is I do not watch that many shows, so I don't know. That's the problem. But we could just look it up. Last of Us cinematographer. Let's take a look here. And it is... I don't know. I can't find it immediately, so I don't want to waste too much time. But yeah, maybe he did. I'm not too sure. Huge question from Walker here. Huge question. Conveniently, just the other day, I put out a video, and it's doing really well. So shout out to you guys for checking it out. I ranked every single upcoming DC project. Then DC decided to mess with me. And the second that I finished editing it, the second I finished recording it, they decided to say, hey, we're going to announce another DC movie. And I was like, bro, are you guys serious? I could have included that in my video, but it's fine. What are your thoughts on why am I saying Dane over here? Oh my God, I'm stuttering. Bane and Deathstroke. Potential team-up movie in the DCU. This is the thing. They wouldn't just do this for no reason. They clearly have a reason to do this. A lot of people are saying, this is so random. This doesn't make any sense. It's not random because we don't know what they're doing in the DCU yet. Because clearly, this is going to tie into like the Batman movie that they're doing, The Brave and the Bold. Once we get information about that movie, once we see that movie, which honestly is in like 3 years, then we'll understand, oh, that's why they're doing Bane and Deathstroke. That makes sense. So I'm excited, but I think it's unfair to say like, oh, this is stupid because we don't know what's going on in this universe yet. We haven't even got the appetizer for this universe, Creature Commandos. We have no idea. So yeah, I mean, not much more to say about that. Wow. How could I forget La La Land? It's on my Letterboxd top 4. My favorite movie of all time is La La Land, so it counts as a rom-com. La La Land is a top 10 favorite film of all time for me, so 100%. Thoughts on the Minecraft movie? Listen to me. Listen, I'm just going to say something. I guess I just got to stand my ground sometimes, man. I got to stand my ground. I am excited for the Minecraft movie, and I liked the trailer that they put out. This trailer that they put out online has been getting dogged. People have been destroying Mojang, destroying, I don't know what studio is distributing it. Maybe Warner Brothers, I don't know. They've been getting dogged. I liked the trailer. Was it stupid? Did I have problems with it? 100%. I thought there was some stuff where I was like, what? I loved how stupid Jason Momoa looked. I like the fact that Steve is just Jack Black. I think it's funny. Also, the comedy, sure, maybe it's not going to be amazing, but I thought that the world looked great. I don't know. And also, I like that they're doing it in live action. again, call me crazy. I don't know. I get that they could have made it animated, but I really liked it. I really liked it, honestly. And I'm honestly excited. They just released a clip just the other day, too. It was like 30 seconds. Didn't show that much, but it was like them crafting. It was kind of stupid, honestly, but like, I think it's going to be like a stupid fun watch. Usually, stupid fun movies, I usually just think are stupid. I don't mean to be like a, pessimist, but I'm just saying. But yeah, I'm actually pretty excited. Oh boy, it's time to lock in. What were your favorite childhood TV shows? Listen, I was glued to that. Yo, shout out to all 12, 13 people that are in here, by the way. I was glued to that TV screen as a kid, okay? And not like not in an iPad kid way, but I'm talking cable, baby. I'm talking cable, okay? Back in my day, we didn't have streaming services. We didn't have Disney Plus, okay? We had it hard. Whatever was on TV was what you were watching, man. Whatever was on TV or whatever you had on DVD or VHS, that's what you were watching. Let me just go and get my rocker and my cane, man. I feel old right now. But listen, I'm beating around the bush. Hannah Montana. I'm not afraid to admit that. Hannah Montana. iCarly. Victorious. What else, man? What else? I'm trying to think of some other ones. All those. You know what I'm saying? All those from that era. I'm trying to think of anything animated, maybe. Oh, I can't think of anything else. But, man, all those Disney shows. Gravity Falls. What else? SpongeBob. I liked SpongeBob. I didn't love SpongeBob, but I liked SpongeBob for sure. Super, super good, though. Super good. But listen, I don't want to fall too behind on the questions here, but some of the all-time greats were on Nickelodeon during that time. Drake and Josh, how could I forget? So good. What is your favorite superhero movie? Wow. This is honestly a horrible question. And it's only horrible for one reason, because you're giving me a tough time. This is actually a great question. Favorite superhero movie? Right now, one that I'm thinking about right now is probably The Batman. But that's just at this moment because I'm watching The Penguin, whose new episode is dropping in like an hour, by the way. I'm just thinking about it more. So at this point in time, it's The Batman. My others, though, The Dark Knight. And I'm not even like the biggest Batman fan, like standalone, but The Dark Knight. And then from the MCU, my favorite franchise, Guardians of the Galaxy 1, I adore, and Captain America, the Winter Soldier. It's just so good. It's so underrated. Can't say I agree. That was referring to the Minecraft movie, by the way. Man, shout out to Slice Dude, man. Just hitting me with just a bunch of great questions here. Any thoughts on Venom: The Last Dance? It's my most anticipated for the rest of the year. Wow, man. I'm actually happy to hear that. It's cool to see that people just have like different opinions, because, I feel like everyone's always talking about the same movies, but this is, and, no offense, because I know you said you're very excited. This is one of these movies that to me is like stupid fun. Like it's kind of stupid, but it might be kind of fun. This universe, though, is obviously just horrible. Morbius was horrible. Madam Web was horrible. I'm not a big fan of Venom 1. I'm really not a big fan of the second one either. I think they're kind of overrated to an extent because this feels like another saga where people try to defend Venom 1 and Venom 2, like and be like, oh, but you could just turn your brain off and they're just kind of fun. I just straight up kind of don't like them, honestly. But either way, I'm happy that you're excited. I heard that they're going to be building Peter Parker in there, by the way. I'm just saying as like a kid. Apparently that's a thing. You don't feel like they just threw Jack Black in a blue shirt and called it a day. Animation looks great, though. No, I think that's exactly what they did. And I think it's kind of funny. Was it lazy? Yes. And I think it's going to be a pretty bad movie, quite honestly. But I'm just kind of excited to just see it. I'm not necessarily excited because I think it's going to be great. It's going to be an unbelievable theatrical experience. But I'm more just excited, just period. Ooh, have you ever met any celebrities in person? I haven't in person, but I've interacted on Twitter before. Really quick, I just want to give one shout out to this. One time, James Gunn replied to one of my comments on his Instagram post. One of the greatest celebrity moments I've ever had. Who have I met in person? I have a picture with Jordan Clarkson, who's a basketball player. If you're familiar, I mean, I'm not like the biggest player, but he's like a star for sure. He's definitely a pretty big player. I'm trying to think who else I've met. Speaking of childhood shows, I met Jason Earl, who's Hannah Montana's brother on the Hannah Montana show, of course. I'm trying to think of who else I've met. Nobody really, honestly. I lay pretty low, I guess. No, but seriously, I met The Miz, the wrestler. I know I'm kind of bouncing around super random stuff, but there was like a wrestling WWE convention, and one of my cousins was a fan, so he was like, "You want to go?" And I was like, "Sure." I haven't watched wrestling in a decade, but went there and I met The Miz. Pretty cool to see him. I don't know if you play Fortnite. Man, you're killing it with the questions. I don't know if you play Fortnite, but any thoughts on the Incredibles skins? I mean, they seem pretty cool. I've seen like the video or whatever. I mean, Flash looks cool. Miss Incredible, of course. But yeah, I mean, they look pretty sick. Look pretty cool to me. So yeah. Avengers Endgame is my favorite superhero movie. I mean, can't blame you. And my second favorite movie of all time, right behind La La Land. Honestly, sometimes it's tied with La La Land as my number one. Honestly, it's just so epic. It's so just out there that I can't blame you, man. That last hour, it's so emotional. It's so it's pure. It's pure cinema from a superhero standpoint. Bunch of great answers here. See, this is what I was referring to. Big Time Rush, I definitely watched. Zoe 101, I watched a couple episodes, but in a way, it was almost a little bit before my time. Like 2 or 3 years before me. Sweet Life of Zack and Cody for sure, and On Deck, all bangers. Yep. Bring back 5-minute reviews. Possibly. But honestly, if I'm going to be true, I feel like I had too much to say, and honestly, they just didn't really perform that well. So if more people are just going to watch my normal reviews, I'd rather just do my normal reviews and more people will watch them. Did you ever see Beetlejuice? Oh my God. So there's a lot of 2024 movies that I do watch throughout the year, but I just don't talk about on the channel just because I don't feel like everything's always worthy of making a video about. I watched the first Beetlejuice for the first time to prepare the week of with my girlfriend. I honestly didn't really love it, and that kind of turned me off to seeing it. Now that movie's been out for like 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, I feel like no one's talking about it. No, it's been like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. I feel like no one's talking about it, and I just didn't really care to see it, honestly. I'm going to be real. What a banger right here. What a banger. Because this is where we start to get into like tough territory. Do you think the 2 Spider-Verse movies are better than the MCU? Let's put it this way. Obviously, they're top. Ooh, whoa, I just hit that by accident. I think I just hit a button. Obviously, I'm very new to StreamYard. Do you think the 2 Spider-Verse movies are better than the MCU? Obviously, they'd both be top 5 in the MCU. I think that's pretty safe to say, easily. I think Across the Spider-Verse is probably the best superhero film of all time. Is it my favorite? I keep hiding the comment by accident because I'm pressing buttons like a child. No, I don't know if it's my favorite, but I think Across the Spider-Verse might actually be the best superhero film of all time. So yes, I don't think Into is as good, but I think they're both neck and neck. So I'd say they're very close. In my opinion, okay, Across the Spider-Verse and Into are both better than the MCU. I can't blame you for saying that because I'm trying to think of the top hitters. Your Infinity Wars, your Endgames, your Guardians, your Winter Soldier. The thing is, the unfair advantage, and it's not really unfair, but it's just kind of the point, is that Across and Into, their advantage is that they're animated. With animation, you could do so much more. Your horizons are expanded to just such an unbelievable degree, where in live action, you could tell as good of a story as you want, but you're still confined to an extent with what you can do. Even if Infinity War has a $300 million budget, even if Endgame's budget is, $350 million, one of the most expensive movies ever made in live action, there's still only so much you can do when you have humans in front of a screen. Whereas when you have Across or Into the Spider-Verse, you just have a bunch of unbelievably talented animators, not actors, but just drawing up these unbelievable character designs. And when you pair that with a great story, I think that makes for movie magic, baby. Dream director actor pairing. This is very, very interesting, and I think I have my answer. I think I'm going to say Damien Chazelle, because we mentioned him earlier, who did La La Land. He's done First Man. He's done Whiplash. Damien Chazelle. He has that sleek, colorful, vibrant style with a Timothée Chalamet or a Leonardo DiCaprio. 2 of probably my favorite actors, give or take, in that top range. That would be an unbelievable pairing. Unless I'm blanking and they've already made a movie together, and I am 99.9% sure that they have not. But I would love to see them together. Okay, let's see. Let's take a look here. I'm going to watch 301 and 2 tonight for the first time. Any thoughts on those if you've seen them? I'm personally not a big Zack Snyder fan, so I've not seen 300. I know, this is Sparta, but I haven't seen it. I honestly, if I'm going to be real, and I claim to know a lot about movies, I didn't even realize there was a second one. I'm going to be honest. Is it called 301? I don't know. But regardless, I'm happy for you. I really hope you enjoy it. Hopefully, you could comment on one of my videos or something and let me know, because I'll definitely remember that you said you were watching it. But let me know what you thought about it. But listen, guys, We're currently at about an hour, but I'm going to go for 5 more minutes. I'm going to call it at 8:05, and I'm going to try to do a speed round, okay? I'm going to try to speed through as many questions as I can, but the second it hits 8:05, we're calling it. So if you guys want to answer, if you guys have a take, you want a question answered, you want to talk about whatever, send it in right now, because I'm going to be trying to fire on all cylinders, to say the least. And it's 8 o'clock, so we got 5 minutes. Okay. The Batman has the best cinematography in any superhero movie. Quite honestly, I think the answer is yes, easily. If we're to an extent ignoring Into and Across the Spider-Verse, because yes, they have cinematography, but it's different because it's animated. If we're just keeping it simple and saying live action, undeniably to me, honestly, I keep saying undeniably on the stream. I don't know why. I've just fallen in love with a new word. I think the Batman for sure. It honestly just scratches an itch in my brain. I love it. I love looking at the Batman. Like when I'm watching the movie, sometimes every half hour, I feel like I'm sitting back and I'm just like, God, I just love what I'm looking at right now. Not even just the story. It just looks so beautiful. Between Matt Reeves and Greg Fraser, unbelievable. 300 Rise of the Empire is the title of the second one. Thank you for that. Will you be watching the new Lego movie Piece by Piece? Interesting. This is such a weird film when it comes to a concept. I don't know how Pharrell got this made. I'm a Pharrell fan for sure. I love his first album. Number One, I love that song by him. I'm a Pharrell fan for sure. Like, not even just like, his like Get Lucky and Happy. I'm talking about like Pharrell as a rapper, as a producer. I really like Pharrell. I'm probably going to check this out. I don't know if I'm going to review it on the channel though, because honestly, I have to kind of, space out my time and what I'm making with my schedule or whatever. But, I don't know if I'm going to show it on my channel, but at the same time, I'm probably going to be checking it out. I'm kind of excited to see it though. One thing I want to say before I answer another question, if anybody has any video recommendations, any rankings, any tier lists, kind of the same thing, that is the same thing, that you would like to see, comment it down below right now. We've got 3 minutes, man. We've got 3 minutes. So I'm trying to do like a speed round here. Okay, let's keep going. What's the best Halloween movie and the best Christmas movie? The best I wish you included Thanksgiving, because the best Thanksgiving movie is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. The best Halloween movie, like, I don't want to say Scream again. I think it might be, I want to say Halloween 2018. I know that I keep referring back to that movie, but I just really enjoyed it. I think it's a great modern slasher. Christmas movie, you're killing me, but I think I'm going to go with Home Alone 2. Unless I'm blanking, because A Christmas Story is not as good to me. Also National Lampoon's Holiday Vacation. National Lampoon's Holiday. No, what's the Christmas one called? I don't know. But the Christmas National Lampoon's Vacation movie. When do you think Beyond the Spider-Verse will come out? My man Jake's just killing it with the questions. I think 2026. There was rumors that it was coming out in 2027. I don't think that's true. I think early 2026 for sure. Definitely not 2025. I feel like we would know by now, but that's okay. Planning on seeing The Substance. I literally had no idea that this was even coming out, but I am honestly very interested in it now. I really want to check out The Substance. It seems like it's crazy from what I've heard. So yeah. What's the coolest and most interesting documentary you've ever seen? Not a big documentary person, not a big like biopic person, just anything like that. But one that I'll just say I watched recently is Sly, the Sylvester Stallone one, just about his life, about the making of Rocky. So I would recommend that one because I haven't really seen too many documentaries, at least like off the top of my head, of course. But yeah, I would say Sly. That's just one I watched recently. I agree on the best Thanksgiving movie being Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Yes, Eli Roth Thanksgiving. No, I have not seen it, but I know that the comedian Tim Dillon is in it, who I absolutely love. So I do plan on probably checking that out this year. Christmas Vacation. Thank you, Walk. Yes. You could rank movies by a certain actor. Great list. The only problem is someone like Leo probably has like 30 movies, 20 movies. And don't get me wrong, great recommendation. But I would have to watch so many movies. So I might put that one like on hold, but like plan for it like a month or two in advance. So I could like really watch all of them and then come up with this grand list of just all his films. Great recommendation though. Do you think the Batman Part 2 will be as good as Part 1? Bro, Jake is cooking with the questions right now because they're very simple. They're short and sweet. And don't get me wrong, I love all these questions. I'm just saying. This is tough. I'm going to say no. But there's a lot of cases where a movie's so good that people say, there's no way the sequel could be better, right? And then the sequel is better. Great example, Into the Spider-Verse. Everyone's saying, oh my God, Into the Spider-Verse, literally a masterpiece. There's no way Across is going to be better, right? And I feel like a good amount of people, or most people, think Across is better. So this is kind of just my brain, like my, in the moment brain, basically just saying, no, there's no way it could get better than this. Then the second one comes out, and I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe what I just watched. For the first movie was definitely not as good. Best movie from every genre, great. Ooh, MC movies by actors' performance, great recommendation. Guys, I think I'm going to pretty much call it here. I'll answer maybe like 3 or maybe 5 more questions, but yeah, man. Thank you guys for all the questions. Thank you guys for all the support. Great question here. Random question. Do you think Scarlet Witch will return? This is a weird question because in Multiverse of Madness, right? She died, but this is what I think that they did, okay, at Marvel Studios. And just hear me out on this. When she dies, the rubble falls on her, and there's this red flash. I think that the reason that they had, and I don't know if you guys even know what I'm talking about, but basically, when she dies, rubble falls on her. Like I said, they show this little red flash. The reason that they did that is so that they could keep the door open, because I think that they actually didn't know what they were going to do with Scarlet Witch. So they're like, if we don't do anything with Scarlet Witch, we could just say, no, she died. But if she comes back, they could say, oh, remember that red flash that came on? She's actually alive. So it's kind of like a cop-out for Marvel Studios. I don't know why I'm rambling about that, though. The question was, do I think she'll return? I don't know. I feel like Elizabeth Olsen's, like, it's not like she's really in anything, to be honest with you. Like, her career, like, she isn't in much, honestly, and that's no diss to her. Great actress, whatever. But honestly, she isn't really in that much stuff. But do I think she'll return? I think it's 50-50. That's my answer. I'm not copping out. I'm just saying I legitimately think that it is 50% yes, 50% no. That's my answer, honestly. If I had to lean one to give you an answer, I would say yes, because they might just throw a bag of money at her and be like, hey, come back in Secret Wars. But yeah. Who do you want to be the villain of Batman Part 2, Professor Pig? I think I easily want the Court of Owls. That's like some deep-rooted corruption type of stuff that they could do. And they could build on top of the Riddler stuff, all the Arkham stuff going on, all of the like the Waynes, the things that were going on with them. What would you give Deadpool and Wolverine 1 to 10? I would give it an 8 out of 10 for now. My most anticipated movie ever. I went into it saying, oh my God, it's going to be a 10 out of 10. Honestly, I didn't really love it as much as I thought I would. But I still loved it. Don't get me wrong. I was satisfied with it. I just feel like it falls apart slightly on the story side, honestly. And I think that this is going to be probably the last comment I answer. Okay, wait. This is going to be the last question I'm going to answer, by the way. Sorry, guys, but I just had to cut it off at some point. Unless maybe there's 1 or 2 more, but that's going to be it. I'm going to cut it off from there. I've seen people say she'll return in Agatha. I don't think she's gonna, but she's a very popular character, and a lot of people aren't interested in Agatha, so I don't think they make the mistake of bringing her back in it. Exactly. Not that many people watch Disney Plus shows. So again, like, I know that it's easy to say from a creative standpoint and a business standpoint, they make different decisions. From a business standpoint, it makes no sense to like pay her to show up in the show for 5 seconds. Because back in 2021 WandaVision, I think that Disney thought these Marvel shows would be bigger than they actually are now. Now they're kind of just like throwaway, it feels like, honestly. No one's excited for Ironheart. The only reason people are really excited for Daredevil is because there's already been 3 seasons of a show on Netflix that people were hyped about. So yeah, I mean, that's about it. And listen, I'm probably going to end it off right about here, but why was the Arkham Asylum show canceled? I don't think they could put like a script together or something like that, but apparently this show was gonna happen. Then it got canceled, but now it's happening, or what's happening is like just another Batman spinoff, the Batman spinoff. So I don't know if it's going to be Arkham specifically or not. And the last question, let's just end it off on a bang here. Do you think Superman 2025 is going to be good? Absolutely. My most anticipated film in the next year and a half. So guys, that is just going to about wrap up this live stream. I cannot thank you guys enough for showing up here, everybody. My friends, obviously some of my friends were on here, but even some of the, other people that I'm not really too familiar with, man. If you guys enjoyed this, definitely let me know, man. Definitely let me know, like maybe my YouTube comments, because I'll remember you guys. But thank you guys so much for watching this live stream. Seriously, if you guys got any other recommendations, man, shout out to you. Really appreciate it. Yep, Penguins in less than an hour. Can't wait to check out that episode. Thank you guys, though, so much for watching this live stream. I really appreciate it. And yeah, man, I'll catch you guys on the flip side.